Hoop Dreams, the podcast, an Unlearning Network production.
Joining me are my three sons, Will Gates Jr., Jalon Gates, and Marques Gates. And today we're going to have a preview of the 2021-22 NCAA college basketball. And you know right now, everything is open. COVID is no longer a factor. Fans will return to the stadiums. And what that really means is we can expect some loud and crazy college basketball this year. And just looking at the preseason top 25 Agee, we got Gonzaga sitting at the top. Will this be the year? Who knows? UCLA, you know, they was right there last year. Kansas is always there. And of course, Villanova, consistent. But it's surprising here. You got Texas sitting at top 5, especially after the coaching change. But they did some things differently this year through that transfer portal. They went out and got really the top athlete of the transfer portal. But then, of course, we got our guy Newt sitting at Michigan at 6. And then you get Purdue, Baylor, Duke, Kentucky, Illinois. I'm excited to see what Illinois is going to do. And of course, Memphis. Let's see how Penny get these boys going, because I think this is the year. He's actually one of my sleeper teams this year that I think can actually make the Final Four. Absolutely. Oregon, Alabama, who is known as a football school, but I think they're going to be tough this year. I can see them getting to an Elite 8 status. And of course, Houston can always, he just keeps turning out athletes after athletes after athletes. Being college athletes, does that look right, or did they get it wrong this year? Is Gonzaga the best team out there right now?
I think they have a really good chance of going back to a championship game because they basically kept everybody, and then they added a 7-foot dog, you know what I'm saying, to that roster. So they definitely got better with their incoming class. Can it go either way? I'm sure it could, because you never know. During the season, lots of things can happen. Guys can get hurt. Maybe some guys aren't happy and they decide to leave. Like you just never know what's going to happen. Some teams could surprise you and they could, end up gelling together chemistry-wise and being able to take over that spot. But I think right now, preseason, if you just look at them on paper, yeah, they're probably the best team on paper right now.
They're going to smack everybody in there, probably except for St. Mary's, who always gives them a tough game every time they get in conference play. But other than that, they're going to have pretty much a number 1 overall seed. They're going to prove it pretty much until the tournament. So they're not really going to have that much stiff competition until then. So probably the 1 through 4 can't really argue that much.
You guys got any sleepers, though? Because I think, and this is just my own personal opinion, but I think a team like Memphis and what Penny has been doing with that team out there, I think they actually got a good chance to, I got them as one of my sleepers this year to really, change the scope of that fortune. And really, I think they may actually have the best team that has been there probably since the 2008-2009 team. So you guys got any sleeper teams?
I would probably go, and I know it's going to sound weird to call them a sleeper, but I would say Duke. Reason being, they just brought in that freshman at 6'10", Paolo Banchero. He's a dog, and I think he's preseason ACC Player of the Year as a freshman. So I think he's going to have a really, really big impact on that team and kind of get them back to the glory that they are accustomed to seeing. So that would probably be my sleeper, if you will.
And might as well, again, they're a blue blood, but they're not in the top 9. They're Kentucky, they're 10. I mean, when you got 5-star athletes, you can run it up. So I'm pretty sure they'll sneak up into that top 4 midway through the season.
Mm-hmm. Is anybody surprised that Texas is top 5?
I won't say I'm surprised. They had a great year last year, as opposed to the previous 2 seasons. They had a really great year. Obviously, they lost their big guy that's in the league right now.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah,
forgot his name, but they basically bringing back the same team, and their chemistry is pretty good. Will they remain in the top 5? Probably. I don't know. Probably not. But I can see them still being like a top 10 team in the country all year long, for sure.
I was going to say, do you think Texas is number 5 because of the players that's returning or the coach that has stepped in?
No, I think it's because of the players that are returning, and just knowing like the chemistry that they had last year going into this season, that should give them a lot of momentum to kind of take it a step further. Because obviously, from the previous season to last season, they took a huge jump.
Mm-hmm.
So from this season to next season, they're probably thinking that they'll probably do a similar thing and just take another huge jump.
So I want to hit each of y'all with this question, and it's just for the Power 5 schools. Give me your picks that will win the conference. So the first Power 5 school, Big Ten. Who you got?
Yeah, probably Michigan.
Yeah, I say the same. Yeah.
SEC.
Mm.
It's going
That's
to
a
be
tough
tough because
Yeah, that's a tough.
Kentucky
That's
there,
a
but
tough one.
Alabama, like, we ain't no joke this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tennessee is all, they getting better every year.
The Volunteers?
Yes.
Yeah, they are getting better.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a tougher. That's tough.
Maybe Scottie Pippen Jr. turn up at Vanderbilt. He might.
Vanderbilt.
He might.
Matter of fact, the talk is that Scottie Pippen Jr. actually is, well, he's preseason All-American already there, and they got him potentially a top 30 pick this year for the NBA draft.
Really?
So
Yeah.
that's
Oh, wow.
yes.
The guard, Pippen.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
averaged 20 last year.
Wow.
Yeah. He's the man over there at Vanderbilt. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tougher one. I think it's going to be a lot of stiff competition at the top in that conference for sure.
I got Alabama being the top dogs this year.
I'd love to see it. To be honest, I'd love to see it. Because they haven't been
What
in
about that,
contention in some time.
I
So
think Arkansas.
Really? Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas.
Arkansas is tough.
Let's take it out west then. Pac-12.
12.
UCLA.
Oh, that's easy, man. That's easy. I'm about to say UCLA. That's easy.
Even though one of the Mobley brothers is still there for USC.
That's fine.
Are they even ranked? They're not even ranked in the top 25.
That's fine. He gonna have a good year, but they ain't gonna beat UCLA. They brought back both their best players. They about to be cooking the whole year.
And I mean, truthfully,
Yeah.
Johnny is probably, if Chet Holmgren wasn't in college right now, Johnny might be the number 1 player preseason coming out. That might change.
Yeah.
And then on Chet Holmgren, you can't be 7 feet and play like a 2 guard. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, he probably about to go over there and average 30.
Easy.
That boy crazy.
Give me that Big 12.
Big 12. Do we go Kansas? Again? I'm going to go Kansas again because it seems like they got a lock on the Big 12 every year.
Yeah.
Don't matter what
Except
team
for
they got.
Last year they didn't get it.
Yeah.
But you got Baylor.
A lot.
Baylor was kicking everybody.
But they lost. But then they lost Davion Mitchell, and they lost that 2 guard that was nasty, that was cooking in the tournament. They lost him. Not saying that they won't be competitive and everything like that, but Kansas, they got a lock on the Big 12 no matter. Even if they had an off year, they always going to be in contention for that top spot no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But you still got Texas sitting at number 5.
That's true. That's true.
I like Baylor. Baylor.
No. Some about Kansas, man. Yeah, Baylor got
What you get ready to say, Marcus?
No, I feel like it's still Baylor.
Yeah.
Still Baylor?
Yeah, it's still Baylor. Because even though they lost a lot of dudes, they still replaced a lot of dudes.
Right.
Like the dude who I went to high school with, Langston Love, he going there too. So I feel like they're replacing a lot of guards.
Dude, I don't know where Baylor get their players from, but they always are a contender every year. Like, they are a tough team, man. And the same coach been there for all this time. Hey, do y'all see King McClure? He does he's an analyst, TV analyst for Baylor game.
Oh wow.
Is he?
No, I didn't know that.
ACC.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Duke. I just think that freshman, I don't know if anybody's had a chance to see him play, but if you guys have a chance, look up Paolo Banchero. Dude's filthy. He's nasty. He's going to there's some people even having a conversation as if he's going to be better as a freshman than Zion was.
Wow.
Because he's like that.
I'm just gonna say North Carolina because I don't want to pick Duke. I mean, Duke just sound like an easy answer, so I'm just gonna say
I'm going Duke, man.
Then I'll say Florida State.
Florida State is tough, yeah. What's coach name down there at Florida State?
We all should know this.
He can recruit his ass off. That coach
He get big.
You got
get these
Jonathan
big
Isaac.
dudes
that can shoot the
He
ball.
get big.
Patrick Williams.
Yeah, and they play defense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got 2 more conferences for you. These ain't Power Fives, even though I think they should be. Big East.
Then we said Villanova's big.
Yeah.
Villanova, but Georgetown got that all in preseason All-American freshman on their squad too.
You're right.
Again, I think that's going to be another conference where it's going to be a lot of stiff competition at the top, and guys are going to be fighting for that top spot. I don't think it's like a clear cut favorite. It's a bunch of teams that like any one of them can win it.
Mm-hmm.
And this question here is, Southland Conference.
Oh man, you know them dogs. Man.
Hey.
Them dogs. Them dogs.
Hey man, listen. All I know is we going to the playoffs.
Yeah, Agee might have something to say about that.
You know them dogs.
Oh no, man. Oh no.
Hey, when we go to the playoffs, that's all I know.
I think it's gonna come down who got the better uniforms.
I don't know. That's going to be a good game between Arkansas State and Houston Baptist University.
That's crazy. I want to ask Coach. I want to ask Coach how the hell he get that game on the schedule.
Well, I tell you, speaking of mid-majors, and I was kind of leading into this. What's your perspective on the mid-major game? Because Jay, you talked a little bit about it earlier, how, even though it's mid-major, those guys don't perceive themselves to be mid-major players. They just like, I got overlooked. But what is you guys' perspective on the mid-major game?
Yeah, so I've always thought that mid-major programs should be getting a lot more respect than they do, because a lot of what people don't understand is that mid-major is literally just a title in itself. Because if you think about it, when it comes down to it, Gonzaga is technically a mid-major school, right? They just get high-level talent to come and play for their school, and that's all it really is. These guys are talented players at these schools. They just maybe didn't get the high major look. But if you got high major talent playing at a mid-major school, that's how you see these games where these Power 5 schools are getting knocked off by teams you never heard of, because a lot of people don't expect teams with names and schools and places that they never heard of to compete, but they got real dogs on their team that can play. So I think the mid-major game is definitely needs to be respected a lot more, because there's a lot of guys that are playing in that are pros. Like they're pros.
Just going off of that, I mean, you got Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum.
Yeah.
You got, even last year we saw with North Texas and Oral Roberts. Like, these dudes can play. These dudes are not there just because they couldn't make it to the Dukes, the Kentucky. Sometimes it's opportunity. John Morant talks about that. He's like, man, I had 0 stars, but that dude knew he can play at the highest level. So mid-major it's more of a, like I said, funding maybe. It could be just a title, like Will said. It's not necessarily talent level, because we know there's so many dudes at the mid-major level that can play NBA basketball, and that's been proven time and time over.
Yeah, like they said, the quote-unquote lower-level basketball, it's never really like how they say it is, because I can attest going into practice, like the same practice level and lifting and everything like that is going to be the same. Like the gym may be 10 times bigger, or the arena and the school's getting more funding, but at the end of the day, when both teams go on the court, the mid-major school can still come on top, because they just have like more dogs players. And also being at a mid-major school, because they feel like, the high major guys might relax a little bit, they go at you harder. So it's like that type of fight is in mid-major schools, that they're like, just because you're a big time school doesn't mean that we still can't beat y'all. So I feel like that's a good aspect for us too.
And to speak to that, Marques, I love it when the tournament roll around and them big schools matched up with one of the mid-majors and they pop them off. You know what I'm saying? Remember the school Gulf Coast, Florida?
Oh, yeah.
They was just running through everybody. Like, you think we can't play? Okay, let's go. Lob it. Boom. Get out of here. Next team. You think we can't play? Come on, let's go. They just rocked everybody.
Loyola Chicago.
They got to the damn, the final 8? Loyola Chicago, another team that caught fire. Had a good Had some good. They gelled real good it's all about gelling at the right time.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to see if them dogs of Houston Baptist got some bite in them. And speaking of that, Marques, talk a little bit about your team, strength and weaknesses. As a matter of fact, particularly y'all opening game is against, we've been talking about them for a while now, Texas, the number 5 team in the country. Give us the strength and weaknesses of your team, and then what's the mindset of preparation getting ready for to play Texas?
Honestly, the mindset is because, of course, we don't have 6'9" dudes at point guard, but I also feel like our school, we have a lot of we gel fast. So right now, even though it's only been like a short period of time, it's only been like 2 months since we've been playing, I feel like we've come together fast. So we're knowing how dudes play. We can get a lot of dudes open. We know when to hit a guy, something like that. So I feel like going up against a school like Texas, I feel like since also new guys coming into the program, I feel like we'll have that advantage that we'll know, if this is a mismatch here, get this guy open, something like that. I feel like that would be a better opportunity for us because we got a lot of shooters on our team that it's like if you drive and you get them open in the right spot, they're going to knock it down 10 times out of 10. So it's more just, I feel like we have to trust in each other that it's even though it's Texas, we still could go out there and beat them. Just like with Jalon, when they played Wake Forest, they knew that they could go out there and compete with them, and they ended up beating them. So it's just more of a mindset to be just because we're a mid-major school, we can still go out there and still accomplish what we need to. We got a lot of dogs on this team, especially one of our shooting guards, his name is Tay. He plays his heart out every single practice, and he kind of brings the level out of everybody. When you see him fired up, everybody starts getting fired up. So I feel like that will really take us over the top going into this year. And I'm really just kind of learning, but still trying to put my own effect into the game. When we go into practice every day, I feel like everyone's clashing at the right time to be
Right.
yeah, we're we can do this. So by the time that the tournament and stuff comes around, honestly, I feel like we do have a good shot to win the conference tournament and even make March Madness. So I believe that we can actually do that this year. So it'll be a really exciting year. I feel like we'll win a lot of games, and by the time March started to roll around, I wouldn't be surprised if we on that list.
Who actually went to the tournament out of your conference?
Abilene Christian.
Yeah, Abilene Christian. Yeah.
Abilene Christian, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And the years before that, it's been kind of like how Gonzaga wins it typically every year. Stephen F. Austin used to win it.
Oh, okay.
But Stephen F. Austin, actually, y'all had a conference change.
Yeah, we had a conference change. So a lot of those schools, so Stephen F. Austin, Sam Houston, Lamar, some of those schools are no longer in our conference. So we got a lot more games to play against the conference teams, but I think that'll actually make it a little bit better for us right now. So it's we get more chances to get to know our competition. So by the time the tournament comes around, we let's say we beat a team two times in a row. We know we can go in there, not take it easy, but be yeah, we have a confidence where it's we know we can go out here and win this entire thing. So I feel right now it's a good opportunity for everybody to make it and play.
Right.
But I feel we have the advantage right now.
This question is for you, Jay. Opening night, NCAA season, Kentucky Duke. Coach K's last season. John Shire's coming in next year, but what's the mindset of an athlete if your coach is getting ready to leave his last year? Are you saying, you know what, man, let's go out all and give it for this coach? Or are you somber about it as well? What are your thoughts on that?
Probably a little different for the Duke guys because in those type of programs, it's more like you're one and done. It's not like you're there for 4 years. So you grew up with Coach K. You're this is your senior year along with them. So you're hey, we got to all come together and try to do this. A lot of them guys are there for the first year. So they don't really know Coach K besides them being in their house and saying, hey, can you come play for my school? But I think it just adds a little more motivation for those guys. They want to be the people to say, hey, I won a championship. I won the last championship with Coach K. Or I was there when we made it to the Elite Eight, when we made it to the Final Four, or you know what I mean? So I think that just adds a little bit more motivation. Not necessarily they don't have the bond that, let's say, a senior leg group would have, saying, "Hey, we got to do this for Coach K," because, like I said, they're first year guys. Man, most of them are. So I think it just adds a little bit more motivation for them.
Okay, yeah. Kentucky didn't make the last season's tournament. What's your thoughts for them this year?
Oh, well, I think they're going to have a bounce back year. Calipari is not one of those coaches that's used to, you know what I'm saying, not having success, especially in postseason tournament play. So I'm thinking he's probably really motivated. I'm pretty sure the guys are motivated to come out and not have a year like how they did last year. So I think they're gonna really brand together as a team,
mm-hmm.
and really focus on, hey, we got to be successful this year and doing whatever it takes to be successful. So I think they'll make the tournament this year.
When I gamble, I'm always looking for a way to get an edge. At MyBookie, they double your first deposit, so they give you that edge. Use promo code HoopDreams and sign up now. Claim your first deposit bonus with MyBookie and use the extra funds to start your winning season. This weekend, you got a few big matchups. The Jazz and Heat battle in the early game, as well as the Bulls and Sixers. And later on, LeBron and the Lakers take on Dame Dollar and the Blazers. Place your bets at MyBookie. Head to MyBookie and sign up now using promo code HoopDreams, all caps, to get your money doubled and start winning today. And remember, good friends don't let friends win alone. So tell your friends to use your referral code so that you'll be eligible to receive an additional 250% bonus on the first deposit. Plus, it's unlimited to redeem, so all of your friends can join the party at MyBookie. Remember, at MyBookie, you can bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Marques, this is for you. This is a two-part question. First part is there anybody at your school that is benefiting from the NIL rule, meaning that college athletes can get paid for their likeness? And the second question is, let's say if you were one of the ones that's getting paid, or one of your teammates, do you think it is a distraction to take your focus away from the game because you should be more concerned about making money away from the game? Or do you think this is the best thing since sliced bread to come to the NCAA?
Right now, I only know of like one or two guys on the team that are making money outside, which is like maybe like a sponsorship deal with like a chip company or something like that. And then another guy on our team, he does music. So he's kind of he's getting money off of that now. I haven't seen any changes between them. Like they still come into practice every day, still working hard and stuff like that. It's never like flashy this, like, oh guys, look what I'm doing, stuff like that. I don't feel like it's been distracting because we still been getting to work since day one. So for a lot of it, I feel like it hasn't really changed us or anything like that, personally to me. So no, I don't feel like it's bad for basketball. I feel like it's just the right people who are getting the money they're ready and matured for it. So I feel like if you're not mature enough to accept the responsibility to do it, that it can be hard on you. But I feel like for us, since it's kind of like been built into us to like be like responsible with what we have to do, comes like what we're here for is like for school. So we had to take care of that in basketball first before we had to do our outside stuff. So I feel like we're all ready for it.
Even now, the NBA is making a big push. Even SportsCenter has a HBCU day that they specifically highlight different schools. Often wondered, because I thought about this, and Agee and I, we talked a little bit about this, if HBCUs would have came out of us more, we probably would have considered that. But it wasn't as popular back then. I think it's more popular now to consider HBCUs. What do you think is missing from the HBCUs turning the corner to becoming maybe even not just, a high major program, but really getting that true recognition? Because a lot of great athletes come out of HBCUs. Go to you first, Spooty.
I personally think it's just a matter of our athletes going there. That's probably just the biggest thing, just getting more competitive in terms of recruiting and just getting guys to take a chance on. I think about it, even growing up, I didn't even consider an HBCU, which sounds kind of crazy. because you think about going to like Duke, Carolina, Kentucky, and now that I'm a little bit older, a little bit more mature, if I had to go back and they even had thought about sniffing my way, I would have definitely considered and probably ended up at an HBCU. I think the biggest thing is just funding. Of course, that's always going to help when you just have more money to pour into your programs. But then, too, getting our best athletes, these best young Black African American players, to choose our schools to give us a chance at kind of turning that script. Because back in, the 60s and 50s and things like that, like HBCUs were the schools that they went to because they couldn't get, into these other schools. And they had the better basketball programs, at those times. And then sometime in there it switched and they were going to these, the Carolinas and all that stuff. And that's kind of where things kind of progressed from there. But there was a point in time where going to HBCU as a Black athlete wasn't even a question. You were going to go to one of them. It didn't matter which one, but you were going to go to one of them. And I think it's kind of getting back to that point because, one, they are getting more competitive, but then two, people are starting to pay more attention to these schools and what they can provide for not just the community, but just people in general, just giving people different options of schools to go to. And I think, again, if our athletes start going there and they start performing well there and still making it to the league, that's going to shift the paradigm rather quickly.
I think it's about money and just going out and getting the kids. I mean, I didn't even actually hear from a HBCU school recruiting me. Hell, they didn't even think I was gonna make the grade probably anyway. But like you said, it was planted in our heads. Me and Will, I want to go to school that's gonna play on TV. TV, how your campus living, housing situation, all that plays a role into the HBCUs having to compete with these other schools for these players. I don't know if y'all know, it's a thing right now what's going on at Howard University. Their housing situation is messed up. You know what I'm saying? But that's just for the students. We don't know how the basketball team or the football team are they having those same problems? Got to put that money into the school to, better that better that program so you can attract that star. And I'm kind of glad Master P's son and a few other kids is jumping on board, saying, yeah, I'm going to go to these, try HBCU school. What was one of our guys that came out with us, Will? Lindsey Hunter.
Shaq's son is at HBCU. So it is making a turn. I think I agree with you too, Spooty. Funding is going to be important. I mean, and it's like, but I will say this situation that's happening at Howard University not only doesn't help athletically, but those type of situations doesn't just help for the student enrollment too, because that's how you can also build a program. You need students on campus. But speaking of students on campus, they got some big time freshmen out there on campus right now. Now, you three guys know these because y'all always showing me YouTube clips of these guys like Imani Bates and Jalon Duran. I mean, at Memphis, how good is Imani Bates and Jalon Duran? Is this a one and done year? But did they get the pick of the litter?
Do you want to go, Will?
First of all, they both are just absolutely filthy when it comes to playing basketball. They ain't gonna be in school too long. In fact, second semester they gonna be taking them classes where they ain't gotta really take classes. They just work on their game because they already know where they going when it come June time, draft time. They already know that they going to the league because those guys different level for sure.
I don't gotta say he said it all. That's it.
Yeah.
Imani Bates is so cold. It don't make no sense.
So who are some other guys that, and again, because y'all know all of the high school guys coming out, who's some other guys that we should be looking out for that are freshmen this year?
Well, I mean, like you said earlier, Chad Holmgren. That's tough. Anybody over 7 foot who can dribble the ball and shoot, it's gonna be tough to guard. So I feel like he's definitely league bound too.
Like I said, Paolo Banchero, I'm gonna keep harping on him because I've watched him play, and he's 6'10" and plays like a guard. And he can do a lot of things. Very athletic, very fast, high basketball IQ. Like, yeah, he's gonna be something special for sure.
I always want to ask you guys this, and we debate this a lot too, though. Do you think the the guys that are coming out of high school now are good as they are projected, or are they being oversold?
I'd probably say it's probably a mixture of both. There's some guys that are legit, and you could tell they're legit because there's not many questions around their game itself. You know what I mean? And the guys that are kind of like on the fence, there's a little bit more question on their games and what they can do. Or you'll see that they got all these videos online, but yet they got no offers. And you're kind of just like, but they hyping them up like crazy on these sports. Like back in my day, if you had something on Ball is Life or Hoop Mixtape, like you were a legit guy. It wasn't just like, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't just coming out to see anybody. But now it seemed like if a guy kind of has some popularity or some clout or whatever, they gonna go and they gonna film you and they gonna put you on. You're gonna get millions of views and people just gonna know who you are, things like that. So I think it's a mixture of both. There are some legit guys that what they're saying about them is correct, but there are some guys that kind of a little bit behind the ball, if you know what I mean.
So the Imani Bates kid is like that.
Yeah, Imani Bates is.
Go look at some of Imani Bates highlights. You'll be a fan too, I promise.
Now, is he gonna have to put on some weight?
Yeah, but that's gonna happen. He's gonna go to weights one day, drink some muscle milk, and he's gonna throw on 10 pounds easy. Like that ain't gonna be hard for him to put on no weight.
Just wait, just watch the first game.
It's funny that you guys are saying that because, lately he's been getting a lot of flack.
I'm sure.
He's been overhyped a little bit,
Well, they probably just doing that mainly because he's been in the news and stuff like that since he was like in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And people were saying that he was the best player regardless of class and stuff like that. So it is what it is, man. Who cares? Like where he is right now, he focusing on where he going to be at in 10 years when he in the league and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like they can say how they want to right now because they kind of did the same thing as Zion. Oh, I don't know if he can do the same thing that he was doing in high school at the college level. Then he did it at the college level. Then they did the same thing. I don't know if he can do this what he did in college at the NBA level. And then what he do? He did it at the NBA level. So he's just gonna have to prove himself. And once he do, then the narratives change and everybody that was saying stuff, they're gonna change what they were saying before. I guess it just come with being highly touted like that. So
as we bring this to a wrap, who makes the Final Four and who wins it all?
That's a toughie. I think you can't count out obviously Gonzaga and UCLA for making it back to the Final Four. Those other two, I don't know. It could be a mixture of teams that could end up making it all the way. But I would probably say I would lock in Gonzaga and UCLA for Final Four spots, in my opinion. Now, this is obviously preseason. They ain't played no games yet. My opinion, everything can change. But right now, as it stands, I would say that they're probably a lot to go back.
Jay?
I'd probably say that too. I'd say, honestly, I didn't want to say Duke, but Duke is probably going to end up in that Final Four regardless. And I hope Michigan gets in there. So I'll probably say, Gonzaga, Michigan, Duke, and then, that fourth spot could be up for grabs.
I say Gonzaga. Gonzaga is probably my top spot.
That's all you got?
Yeah, honestly, because any other team that's after that is because then they could end up losing in the second round because it happens sometimes. So it's really a toss-up because there's no preseason games that we've seen or anything like that. So you just honestly got to wait.
I'll tell you, man, I'm throwing Alabama out there.
You really harping on this Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't know what's you got some.
Well, he doing that. He don't believe the Bulls gonna win.
I think Daddy got some insider trading information on something on Alabama because Daddy confidence crazy on Alabama right now.
Listen, did y'all not watch them boys play last year?
We saw.
They brought that whole squad back. They will be deadly.
That is
true. I'm going with Alabama, Michigan. If I gotta pull from the pack, I'm gonna hit UCLA in there because I do like what they got, and I gotta go with Gonzaga simply because not just Chet, but they got the bearded one there too. So he just is crazy. I think his antics are gonna be even up more. So that's my four there. What you got, Agee?
I got 2 HBCU schools. And I got 2 mid-majors in the Final Four.
Right. Give it the name.
Nope. See, there you go. You loud. Nope. You want to hear the names. Look at see. Man, I'm going to roll with Gonzaga, UCLA, Michigan, and Baylor.
Now, y'all know why we also doing this too, man, because we are creating, not only NBA pool, at some point we're going to have a Hoop Dreams pool for NCAA as well, too. So y'all be on the lookout for that. But Here are some up-and-coming players, and I want y'all to just tell me what y'all think about them. Sheldon Sharp out of Arizona. He committed to Kentucky, 6'5", shooting guard. Thoughts on him?
I haven't seen him play that much, but yeah, I know from the stuff that I have seen, yeah, he's pretty athletic and can do a lot of things on the floor that you can't necessarily teach, like a real natural ability with the basketball in his hand and stuff like that. So,
Derek Lively out of Pennsylvania, heading to Duke, 7'1". Duke hadn't had a big dude like this since
Jesus.
Christian Laettner and Cherokee Parks. I mean,
Damn.
you got to go way back to think the last time Duke had a 7-footer.
well, hold on.
Well,
they had
they had the Plumlee
the Plumlee brothers.
Yeah, they had all
the Plumlee
three.
brothers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I guess they did. They had the Plumlee brothers. They did. Were they 7 feet?
He like 6'10",
Yeah, the last one he was 7'3".
I'm gonna say I think Mason is.
The youngest brother was 7'3".
Damn.
Was he 7'3"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you get 7'3" brothers.
No, I don't know much about the kid who you just said.
Derek Lively.
I don't know, but if he can go with Paolo, then they're gonna be nice. Then if he
Right, you said it's
on a
irrelevant.
similar level, then I'm gonna have to change my picks for the Final Four because Duke gonna definitely be in there if he can go with him.
Keontae George out of Florida.
Okay,
6'3",
yeah.
going
Hey.
to Baylor.
Hey,
we just watched it the other day.
He's nasty. Hey, that
Just
boy
watched
is
it the other
nasty.
day.
Yeah, he's nice. Yeah, I like
he's
him.
nice.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He can do everything. Pull up, get to the rack, threes, dribble back. Like he got
Where
it.
you going, Will?
He
Next
got it.
level.
What school he going to?
He's going to Baylor.
Wow.
Some school in Texas called
Where he
Baylor.
from though?
He's out of Florida.
Wow. Miami, no schools in Florida
Out of
couldn't keep him
Florida.
there. Wow.
Yeah, he nice.
Right. And they got a bunch. Florida State, Florida. They got everything down there. Amari Bailey out of California.
Jay, that's
He
your guy,
stayed
Jay.
home.
Well, hey, I'm trying to tell you, that lefty is.
Hey,
he got Drake on his side.
He got roots in Chicago, so yeah, he already got my respect. You know what I'm saying?
Now he was at
Yeah.
Sierra Canyon, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah,
the
play with-
lefty
play
out of
with,
Sierra Canyon.
Yeah, but he
Desirable
played
Williams.
summer
Right.
ball with I think he played summer ball with Mac Irvin. With the Fire. I think he played
That's
with them
right.
during the summer and everything like that. So yeah,
He does got
He
them
got better.
Chicago roots.
he got better for sure.
A guy like Nick Smith, Jordan Wash, Jaden Bailey. There's some other high school guys out there that are up and coming, like a Derek Whitehead, some guys or Derek Whitehead that we don't.
One guy you probably should pay attention to is DJ Wagner. That's Wagner Jr. He's ranked the number 1 player in his class currently right now. I think by the time he's a senior, he's gonna be something really, really special. I think he's a junior this year. I think. Don't quote me on that, but DJ Wagner for sure. I was watching him play. He got it. Just like his dad, he got it.
Oh,
for
wow.
sure.
So that's DeJuan Wagner's son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I seen his son play. He's amazing.
Speaking of that, LeBron's son is Bronny is nice too, but also his youngest boy too. I think Bryce is going to turn out to be something special. He's almost as big as Bronny is right now.
Yeah.
Well, listen, fellas, thank y'all for joining us on the show. If y'all don't mind, we're gonna like to do a follow-up mid-season check-in with y'all to see if some of these predictions are shaping up and looking right. And Marcus, we want to check in with you, see how that season is going. Rooting for them Huskies out there in Houston. And of course, we're going to have a Final Four show too, so we want you guys to be a part of that. But thank y'all for joining us.
Got all 3 of the Hoop Dream boys, baby.
I got the story. So one day, me and my son, Will Jr., we at the church, and they did, we had the gym in there. So we're playing, and this guy in there, he's just talking crazy. He's like, Will, you ain't got it no more. Now he's talking to me. Will, you ain't got it no more. And when I play with my boys, I never used to go hard at them because I want them to, find a level. But he was talking crazy and he was coming at me. Then all of a sudden, I cranked it up a whole nother level on him. Now, Will Jr. there watching me play, when we got in the car, we said, no, this is the first time that my son, he went from, I was his dad to like, dang, my dad is great. Like he became a fan that day. He was like, oh my goodness, what they said about my dad was real.
Yo, when I tell you, he like turned into something I had never seen before.
Right.
Like he literally like went back into his bag and turned back like he was 16 again. He was just doing stuff. Mike with the hang time, everything. It was crazy. I was like, this different.
That's how we used to be 14 looking at your dad too. He coming over to Olivet to play Jensen, to play Manil. We used to wish that like he wouldn't show up, like he was that good to where he was playing somewhere else. But for his school, he always came and had on these Nikes that had the Nike big, they call them the big Nikes. They had the Nike on the back of the heel. He the only one in the gym with them on. So he just killing everybody, dude. We was like, man, this shit ain't fun, man. Dude just come here every day, and we just hate when he come. Like, damn, Will Gates in the gym.
I didn't know they hated me coming.
Yes, we hated your ass coming. Go play against the Schiller School over there. Go play against them over there.
Stay up to date on new episodes, and if you missed any, they all can be found on iTunes and Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm the gold of my era. I've been a trending topic. I'm as fly as a feather. My pockets macroscopic. See, with time I get better. I'm always in the action, kid. Know I got it locked from Chicago where the toughest live. Concrete jungle, earn my stripes on the pavement there. You make it here, then you can make it anywhere. No comparison. Your game is embarrassing. No one can touch me. I'm all for going there again. Yeah, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me. Yeah, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me.
Hoop Dreams the podcast, an Unlearning Network production. Written and produced by Arthur Agee, Will Gates, Matt Hoffar, with audio engineering from Matt Savage. For more episodes, check us out at www.unlearningnetwork.com.
Gotta be a dog to survive in this cold weather. Ice in my veins, no need for a warm sweater. I'm coming forward, all best believe I won't let up, yeah. Hey, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me. Yeah, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me. Yeah.